But Iowa, they're not playing Ohio State or Michigan this year. So it could be a little bit interesting, but I don't think they'll be like Penn State or like Wisconsin. So
greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast preview of the Big Ten Conference. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today is Captain for Life, Will Cotton. Will, we got to get some T-shirts for that. Get some merch.
Yeah, for sure. I love it.
I got to get some merch.
For sure.
All right. So on today's episode, we will preview the Big Ten Conference in preparation of the 2023 college football season. In segment one, we'll give our initial thoughts on the Big Ten Conference, wherever direction we go, give you the over-unders on wins totals, strictly for entertainment purposes only. Segment two, we'll give our thoughts on some major storylines headed into the season. And in segment three, we will make season predictions, strictly for entertainment purposes only. But first, here's the conference overview. Let's get after it. Illinois, 6.5. I don't feel very strongly about that, Will, so I'm going to stay away from it. What do you think, man?
I'm going to stay away as well. Can't trust Illinois.
Yeah. Indiana's 3.5. Like 2 years ago, they had like a really good season, and then they're back to being Indiana football. So I'm not touching that. All right. Iowa, 7.5. Slowest, fastest team I've ever seen in my life. And once they stop doing like these divisions next year, that number is going to drop. So if I was going to do anything, it better be this year. And I don't know who Kurt Ferentz has pictures on, but that guy's got job security that I have never seen. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe they got a new AD coming in. So we might be seeing the slow departure because if again, Will, if I'm not mistaken, don't they have some gambling stuff going on there? And they had some racial stuff going on.
Oh yeah, they had some. Yeah, they've been, and to their credit, they're doing it very keep in house. There's really not any information, not a lot of details, but there is some rumblings around going on. But Iowa, they're not playing Ohio State or Michigan this year. So it could be a little bit interesting, but I don't think they'll be like Penn State or like Wisconsin. So
I'm not touching them. I'm not touching.
Yeah.
All right, local to us, the Maryland Terps, 7 wins. I hope so, but I'm not going to touch it. Love Coach Locks, but man, they just got a murderer's road, to use a Yankee reference.
Oh yeah.
In terms of their schedule, so let's just keep it at 7 and push.
Yeah, maybe.
Michigan 10.5. That's the teaser because they're going to run roughshod over everybody. And then you got the Ohio State game, and that's how they get your money. Oh, yeah. So I'm not touching that one.
I think that's a day of the past. I think that's Urban Meyer. I think now that Michigan's kind of turned the corner, I think they are the team to beat. Ohio State is just there from name, and I think Michigan's going to whoop on them the next couple of years until they decide what they're going to do in route. Because Harbaugh it's rolling now, man.
You go put $10 if they get 11 wins in the regular season.
Yes,
you would. See, you got me thinking, man. I don't know if I could trust that.
I would. The quarterback is supposed to be like phenomenal. Like he's supposed to be this like big, this kid is supposed to come in and what's his name, McCarthy or something. He's supposed to be like. So we'll see.
All right. Michigan State, one of my favorite coaches, Mel Tucker, 5.5. Man, that guy's still getting that $90 million. So I don't know what's going to happen with Mel, but they got to have some bias remorse. How did he get that check?
Man, you hang around long enough. You find some stuff.
I remember franchise said, I would not leave the building if you made that check offer, that contract offer. Where's the pen? Pen.
Right. I usually keep one on me.
All right, Minnesota, the Golden Gopher, 6.5. I'm not touching it. But Matt Rule at Nebraska, 6 wins. Do you think he can get over in that first year?
I don't know. They have 8 starters coming back on defense, so that's going to help them out a little bit. But the line is not that good, and we'll see. But the offense is supposed to be firing, so It's hard for me to buy in on Nebraska's being good. So I have to see it before I can jump in. So I'm not touching it on.
I'm not touching it either. Another one I'm not touching is Northwestern 3.5. Even though I might touch it now because I don't think they'll get the 3 wins. Because they've got some problems. So
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
actually
no.
might pile on and put 10 on the under.
Maybe.
Might
Maybe.
pile on.
I mean, I see Rutgers. Rutgers is a possibility for them. Again, you're fired up, so I'm not, you don't want to be that team, but and then they get Purdue the end of the year. So I mean, we could with two wins. So give me the under.
I think I might have to put the under down.
Yeah.
Ohio State 10.5. One of them is going to win. One of them's going to lose. Oh man.
Oh,
I'm
I'm going Ohio State, man. They're regressing. They're not getting better. They're
You're going to take
worse.
the under on Ohio State?
I'm going to take the under. I think it'll be 10 wins because they're going to lose against Michigan and they're going to lose against Wisconsin. You heard it here first.
No. All right.
On the road on that. They're on the road and they're on the road in Notre Dame. So that's another. I mean, they should win, but it's a tough game.
They got the best player in the country.
Yeah, but he's a receiver. But he's a receiver. It's hard because there's so many other things that have to go right for him to excel. You know what I'm saying? Like the line has to block. The quarterback has to get him the ball to the right time. The coach has to get him the right plays that he needs. It's not like he's a quarterback where he's like, oh, I can make it happen, or a running back where it's like it's a run. It'll be tough when the best player is a receiver, in my opinion. So I'm going to take the under, but they're still a host. Ohio State, 10 wins.
Okay. Penn State 9.5. We love Coach Franklin. They got a tough schedule yet again. I don't know if I could put 10 on them getting 10, but they're the third best team in the Big Ten, and they can't get over
9 wins.
Yeah.
I think unless something crazy happens where they catch Ohio State or Michigan, but ain't gonna happen.
Okay.
Maybe Ohio State. Maybe that's the game that pushes Ohio State out. I'm telling you, man, Penn State.
Purdue 5.5. Who cares? Rutgers 4.5. Rutgers could win 5 games. I don't know.
I would take the money line for them to win of the game of the first game of the season. They're fired up, man. They're gonna punch Northwestern in the face.
Oh well. And then Wisconsin is a team that gives me pause because Luke Fickell can coach. Cincinnati has got like 4.5, 5.5 wins projected.
Yeah,
he can coach.
I'm
9 wins.
It's hard, paused. Man. It's hard.
I'm paused on that one.
I'd say a push or a slight under. I lean towards a push.
All right. So when we come back, fans, in segment 2, major storylines for the Big Ten. Be right back on the Odd Coaches podcast.
Why should student athletes use the CKA SAVE Project academic and athletic consulting services? Over the past 15 to 20 years, colleges, universities, professional sports teams, business organizations, and others have increased their use of consulting services to improve their decision-making processes and results. Over the same time, the athletic and academic landscape has changed for high school and college student athletes as the NCAA has raised initial academic eligibility requirements for student athletes while decreasing the number of transfer restrictions. Former college student athletes have noted that they were academic and athletically unprepared for the rigors of college. Let the CKA SAVE Project's close to 30 years of academic and athletic experience help guide student athletes to increase success as we work to help student athletes achieve the goal of obtaining a college degree. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches podcast. In segment 2, let's talk about the major conference storylines from the Big Ten, starting with the fallout from Northwestern. They were a bad team already, but this story is going to have legs because every week somebody's going to ask you about it. And if the losses pile up and they were bad last year, I don't know. Uh, Will, will this story have legs all year, or will lose interest based on storyline number two?
It'll lose interest. In the beginning, people will talk about it because there's really no football going on right now. But Northwestern is not really known for their football news or anything like that. I mean, they were known about for the NIL, so they did kind of get that started on their end. But even that, I mean, it wasn't even like they're still not a big thing. So, I mean, it'll be a fun thing. And if Rutgers, it'll be like an enjoyment, like 1-14, undefeated, a defeated season. Like people will laugh at them, but it won't be like a big news.
But College Game Day will not be there this season. Can we make that prediction?
Yeah, they won't be there. Not this year.
All right, Michigan or Ohio State. Now, my tag team partner says they're both overrated, and I'm sick of talking about them every year. But let's get to the brass tacks. Will, Ohio State has lost 2 straight to Michigan. Can't lose 3. Can't. Ryan Day can't lose 3 with the best player in the country. Can't happen. They have the talent to go to the big house and win, and people care about that game. But you say Harbaugh has gotten the jinx off of them, and they're going to run this thing.
Yep. He's figured it out. Day hasn't changed nothing. He's kind of getting away now from the Urban Meyer kind of roster. He's kind of doing his own thing, bringing his own players in. And they just haven't had it, and it seems like Harbaugh has the edge on them every time. But like Mike says, that's their Super Bowl, man. So whoever wins Ohio State, Michigan, it doesn't matter who plays in the playoff because they've already won.
All right. Can Penn State not be 3? James Franklin said it himself. They are good, but not great. Because to be great, they've got to beat Michigan. They got to beat Ohio State. And they beat everyone else except Michigan and Ohio State. What are we doing, man? What has to happen?
They're always going to be the redheaded stepchild, man. That's how it be. Unless something drastically happens, I could see them kind of floundering Ohio State if they kind of figure things out with Ryan Day. And they can't kind of, figure out what's going on. But for the most part, I mean, the next 5 years, I see Penn State being the 3rd best. I mean, really 4th some days some years if they're playing against Wisconsin's who's clicking, or of Michigan State who are having a good season. So it's tough, and so and then I forget, Notre Dame is not 10-1 or overshadowing them. So it's just tough to be James Franklin, man. But be thankful people you're in the party. So just keep.
He's a good guy, man.
Yep.
He's a good guy. I remember quick James Franklin story. Him and Fridge were coaching in Maryland, and they were recruiting a guy at Laurel High School who played basketball. I'm in the gym recruiting a guy for Hood College, and they gave me time. Both of them gave time. And Will, I love when people just sit and just have conversations. And I've always remembered that as busy as they were, they see a guy coaching at Hood College, and of course they knew Dickman. And and whatever works, man. You tell Tom I said hi.
Yeah,
we'll
man.
take it, man. We'll take it.
Yeah.
And who will be the surprise team this year? Wisconsin or Nebraska? I'm leaning Wisconsin. Luke Fickell can coach. Something about coaches coaching.
Yeah, I mean, for a surprise, it would have to be Nebraska. I mean, if we're talking about surprise, Wisconsin they're always tough. Every now and again, they have a really good team, solid offensive line, solid running backs. Obviously, like you said, the coach is amazing, can really get the most out of his guys. But if we're talking about a surprise, it would be Nebraska because no one would see they're coming.
They're gonna lose.
I'm
sorry.
I hope it's 70-66 kind of losing. I hope it's something like that.
Crickets, man. They got okay.
Hey, lose, but lose sexy. They got to do it.
All right, fans. When we get back in segment 3, we're going to make predictions strictly for entertainment purposes only on the Big Ten. We'll be right back on the Our Coaches Podcast.
The high school and college academic and athletic landscape is changing. The growing number of college transfers, as well as student athletes being able to profit off the use of their name, image, and likeness, has given student athletes the freedom and power to make life-changing decisions. That is why it is important for student athletes to be properly informed throughout the decision-making process. The difference between success and failure is often measured not by yards, but by inches, and even the most successful coaches and players use outside independent consultants to help improve their decision-making, which improves their results. That is what the CKA SAVE project would like to do for student athletes across the country, improve their academic and athletic results. Our academic and athletic consulting services assist student athletes with the college decision-making process. The CKA team of former high school and college coaches can provide student athletes an independent assessment of their academic and athletic skills to assist student athletes in their college decision-making process. Let the CKA team evaluate your academic and athletic ability to assist you in finding the right fit for your academic and athletic career. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free virtual consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. In segment 3, it is prediction time. So who's going to win the conference? Well, I got Ohio State over Michigan. You just can't lose 3 times to those guys. You can't do it, Ryan Day. You can't go home if you do that. So I'm picking Ohio State because they got the best player in the country, and you can't lose to Harbaugh 3 times in a row. If you do, that's a poser. What do you think, man?
I'm going with Michigan because that'll be Ryan Day's nail in the coffin, and then Harrison Jr. will go off in the sunset as a star, and they'll retool, starting a new coach and start from a new.
Can't fire the guy for going 10 and 11. Weren't they in the playoff last year?
Yeah, they were, but they were. But they may not. They won't fire him. They won't fire him.
They took an L though when they got there, but they care about that game. I was at Ohio State presenting at a conference. Shout out to Dan Tudor, who does a great job with recruiting and so forth. I was there, and they care, man. They really do care. All right, which teams will be bowl teams? Let's give them the rundown. Illinois will make a bowl. Iowa, Maryland. I hope it's a bowl somebody cares about.
Yep.
Michigan State better be in a bowl paying $90 million for a coach. Okay. Hey, Mel, I love you. You got to get to a bowl, man. But your check's clear. Minnesota will make a bowl. Nebraska will make a bowl and use that as the springboard, for next season. And that's the angle that they're talking about.
Taco Bell Bowl.
Ohio State, Penn State, Purdue, and Wisconsin will all be bowl teams. So now the big question, will there be any CFP teams coming from the Big Ten? You got Michigan, you got Ohio State, and both teams could make it depending on what happens somewhere else. So keep an eye on that. And final thoughts, the conference has money and talent to stay relevant all season. Will, what are your final thoughts on the Big Ten?
It's so strong, man, because it kicks off the college Saturday. So people love it. People are already locked in. And, by the time it gets to 3:30, either people doing stuff with their kids or going other place. But like 12 o'clock is like, bam. But yeah, it's good, man. It's good. I like that. Michigan's a little better. Now the rivals getting a little even. If only can Penn State kind of make it, fun in a year, or just like, hey, Penn State's the best, or Wisconsin won the Big Ten. But, it's in good hands. So excited.
They always play like 3 good quarters. And just when you think they're going to win, they whip them to the rope, big drop kick, fired up, big drop kick, and then they go for that 3rd drop kick, miss, finisher, 1, 2, 3. And they lose the big game. All right. Looking forward to it. So on behalf of my captain for life, Will Cotton, and our cavalcade of stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches Podcast, and we'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches Podcast is sponsored by the CKA SAVE Project. The CKA SAVE Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA SAVE Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.